Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins and three crazy rescue dogs who likes to craft in her spare time, has gone back to school to be an ASL interpreter, is trying to train for Iron Man, and is renovating the house. Clearly, the wall has not gotten painted. I am feeling much better. I am still battling a lot of exhaustion. Um, and I do not have the lung capacity that I had before COVID. That said, I had also had bronchitis pneumonia right before, um, and was just still kind of coming back from that lung wise. And yeah, so I think I'm doing pretty good. My coach and I talked today about a plan kind of going forward and where we are. Um, and yeah, and the other thing that came, and this is not really haul, but it is kind of haul. See this box here? On Amazon Prime Day, I bought myself a paint sprayer. It's battery operated. It's like got a chargeable battery. Um, and you can use it inside and outside. So I'm thinking the wall may get tackled soon because spraying it with the paint sprayer seems a whole lot easier than painting it with a roller. So we'll see. So if you're new here, let's back this up a little bit. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message, boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem, and that's a win-win in my book. If you're returning, welcome back. Grab your drink, you know what you're in for. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I did not get a whole lot of stitching done per se, but we're still, we've got a lot to cover. Okay, so you've seen my big haul. That's really about it. Mm-hmm. I have officially opened the Etsy shop. It is Grandma's Stitching Box on Etsy. I also have a Facebook page for it. I released my second pattern just a few minutes ago, and that's what I did the model stitch for. So, I've also had a lot of classwork, um, and so it's been kind of busy, but it's all good. Okay, so sign of the week is what? Um, I think the sign of the week should be learn. So you're gonna put your palm down here, and you're gonna like you're grabbing something and putting it in your brain. So learn and learn more every week. It's true. I'm actually doing. Well, we don't have any grades in my one class. He hasn't graded anything. We turned in a paper. We've turned in videos. We have no grades. Yeah. So I don't know how I'm doing in that class. Your guess is as good as mine. In my finger spelling class, this last week I actually did really well. I'm really excited about the fact that I did so well. On both the homework and the quiz. Um, so that's always good. It's always nice to do well. Sunday we took the three amigos for ice cream after they got their nails trimmed. If you've been with me for a while, you know that my big girl Lizzie struggles when having her nails done, and we've been working really hard on that. She was a champ this Sunday. She like went in there. She was really reluctant to go in, but then she did, and she went back there, and the lady got all of her nails done. No issues. 1, 2, 3. She was a good girl, so we went and got Dairy Queen afterwards. And Miss Lizzie got to eat the leftovers from the little dog. Although Nigel is an ice cream hound. He likes his ice cream, and he will eat that faster than you can even blink. That dog could probably eat twice his weight in ice cream without hesitating. It's a little crazy. Bean is off dog cat sitting this weekend, and she's already got possibly 2 more jobs lined up. One is not till Christmas though, and the problem is that this holiday between semesters, I really wanted to go to the beach, like go someplace. I already had somebody to watch the dogs and whatnot. But if she takes that job, Bean wouldn't be able to go with us, and the whole point was to go as a family. So I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to have to discuss this. But this winter, I need to be on a beach at least for a couple days, drinking fruity drinks out of coconuts. So, um, the other thing that I got in my hot little hands is this. And this doesn't look like much, but let me just tell you. This is by Hillbilly Candle Company. And I know I talk a lot about Hillbilly Candle Company, and honestly, I love their products. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I may have a connection with them. Okay. I am not normally a thread wax kind of girl. Um, I've never really found the benefit to it. I usually just muddle through. You know, you expect your DMC every once in a while to not. You expect Krynic to be a pain in the tuchus. But I know other people use it all the time. Usually it's either so hard you can't, like, what is the point? And stuff. So, Hillbilly Candle Company works their magic as they always do. Those of you who have bought candles or wax melts know, like, the scents are amazing. So I talked to the person, people in charge there, and we came up with thread wax, scented thread wax. This one is peach brandy. Y'all, I could be smelling it. Like, I'm like a crackhead. Let me smell the wax. It smells so good. So it's beeswax, and it's scented. There's over a half an ounce in this little container. And I started using it because I wanted to see before. Like, I knew it would be good, but I was like, you know, is it just something I'm going to use for, like, Krynic or whatever? Y'all, I will never stitch again another stitch without this stuff. And in fact, I am going to keep ordering different scents all the time because it's kind of fun. So, like, you're stitching and it smells good. So wouldn't it be fun? Like, so I'm like, this one's peach brandy, and I'll show you the pattern I did with it. But I was like, you could have like sugar cookies while you're stitching your Christmas stitching, or pine needles. Um, I stitch a lot of beach things, so I could have sun your buns. I could have buck naked. I could have all the scents. Um, but I need one for like every single project bag so that I don't have to worry about not having it, because I stitched this whole project um and I had started using this, and then for some reason I think I was out and about and I didn't grab my wax. And you can honestly, like, I didn't think that there was drag on my thread through my fabric, and I'm stitching on 18 count Aida. It's not like it's like with two threads. So I managed to stitch all but this one thread that I didn't wax. Not a single knot. Not one. My little ends never got uneven. You know how you're like, sometimes you're stitching and you end up with one, and I don't know how that happens, but it does. Didn't have that issue. So then I stitched the one thread of DMC without this. Y'all, I had a knot. You can feel the pull through the fabric. It was so weird. It was like, I'm like, no. So from now on, this stuff. So that said, Hillbilly Candle Company, and you will, if you order my Huckleberry kit, you will get I'm Your Huckleberry thread wax because it goes with the theme, and that was fun. So, I have an extra that I'm going to give away. So I need you to tell me, first of all, don't say prize, don't say giveaway, don't say win, like none of, you know, the drill. You have to be over 18. I will ship to the US and I will even ship to Canada. That's about as far as I'm going to ship, I'll be honest. So comment, do you use thread wax? And what's your favorite scent from Hillbilly Candle Company? Which means you're going to have to go to their website because they have like 95 different scents. But you will win the little Hillbilly Candle Company thread wax. So don't forget, the keyword will be thread. Okay, so this is what I did. This is most of my stitching. This is going to be another short one, but it's a good one. This is the second pattern release from Grandma's Stitching Box. I am on Etsy. It says, congratulations on your divorce. We never liked them anyways. Your friends. I think it's absolutely hysterical. Clearly I think it's hysterical. I think it's even more hysterical that a divorce attorney made the pattern. This is, I guess I should, so this is 18 count Ada. I dyed it myself. I am going to have to dye more of this because the color just does not show. And I sent a piece of it to Jane. Hi, Jane. Jane also is so sweet. She's got some thread wax too, and she can tell you how yummy it is. Okay, so let's see. But this fabric, it's like a green with a little touch of blue and some yellow in it. Sounds horrible, but it's gorgeous. It's so pretty, and I wish that the camera, y'all, I'm really struggling with pictures. I think that's half my battle, is that the pictures just, I don't know. So it is on self-dye, but I'm gonna have to dye some more because I absolutely love it, and it's just gorgeous. So yeah. Super cute. I'm debating whether or not that should hang in my office. I think it's kind of funny. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm having tons of fun creating, and I have some other ideas. One of the other things that I was thinking about, and I would love some feedback on you guys, because obviously, like, I can make the pattern, and that doesn't mean it's gonna sell. It just means that I want to make the pattern. So I don't generally stitch samplers. You guys know that. I mean, you've seen all my, over the years, you've seen all my whips. But I'm looking at a couple different things, and I think it would be really cool to do a sampler where instead of like a traditional alphabet, I would do like ASL, so it looks like little hands, finger spelling the alphabet, and then maybe do the Braille alphabet. I'm not sure what else I would put in there. Like, it's because usually there's a house or there's a building, but I was like, what house or building would be really important for that community, or for deaf culture and stuff. And I haven't figured that part out. But I was like, would other people want to stitch that as much as like it's important to me? So would other people also want to stitch that? Let me know. And then the other one that I would like to do is, so you guys know that the 42 Foundation is near and dear to my heart. That was started by my teammate, whose son was tragically murdered at the Oxford school shooting. And Buck has started this thing on Tuesdays where he lists a Tate trait, because Tate is his son, who was murdered. And so it's like strive for patience, strive for excellence, strive for this. And I was thinking that, it's kind of like the three small words, maybe to do like a Tate trait one with the different strive fors. Um, and then a portion of the proceeds would then go to the 42 Foundation. Um, and I think that would be really cool. So that's another one that's in my brain that is going to be, um, I want to double check that that's okay with Buck first. And I don't think he'd have a problem with it. But I don't want to like step on anybody's toes. I want to be very cognizant of that. Um, so yeah, so that's where we're at. So those are like the next couple, and then I have a Christmas one in my head. Like I have a lot up here, and I've been writing them down because I'm worried I'm gonna forget. And we all know. Anyways, um, my English teacher is very interesting, just so you guys all know, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't tell you what was going on at school. So I'm actually really enjoying the teacher that at first I was like, what the heck? Um, it's been very cool. Um, I have to now practice signing a pregnancy or giving birth story for Thursday night. So we'll see. Um, my English teacher, so going into last Thursday's class, we had spent 2 of the 6 hours worth of lectures on the syllabus, which I think is ridiculous, as we've always stated. Well, we spent that day another 35 minutes on the syllabus, well, on stuff that was covered in the syllabus, specifically the rules about eating in class. And he doesn't mind if you eat, but it can't make noise and it can't smell. So this kid was eating chips and he was like, I can't do this, blah, blah, 35 minutes about it. So then he also decided that, like, he's like, well, my wife, but she's not really my wife, and blah, 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 blah. We spent almost an hour on that. And I lost it, y'all. I lost it. Not even gonna lie, I lost it. I looked at him. I didn't even raise my hand. I go, she either is your wife or she's not your wife. There's no in between. It's kind of like you're either pregnant or you're not pregnant. There's no in between. Is she or isn't she? And he goes, well, we're not legally married. And I go, then she's not your wife. She's not your wife. You can call her your wife, but she's not. She's your significant other or she's your partner or whatever. And he goes, well, it just doesn't seem like that's an adult word to say. And I'm like, then step up and marry her. I don't know what to tell you. But she said, you can't call her your wife. He's like, well, we own property together and we have a joint bank account. And I go, well, then she's an idiot. Unless you have some sort of legal document that if you break up, how that's going to be divided. Like, just saying. And another kid goes, well, but they're common law. And I go, um, common law in Michigan was dissolved in 1971. So if you didn't have a common law marriage prior to 1971 in the state of Michigan, we don't recognize it unless it was recognized in another state. And most states have outlawed common law marriages since the 70s. Now, this guy is only 4 years older than me. I was born in 71. So then the teacher goes, and that's why it sucks to have lawyers in your classes. Now, he then gave us back our grades for our first in-class assignment. Y'all, he knocked me down. He never specified. I went back to the sheet that he passed out. He never specified that our papers had to be double spaced. So my computer is already, it's set up to automatically space 1.5 because that is what is legally acceptable. Like for our documents for court, it's 1.5. You space it not quite double spaced. I don't know why. They'll take it at double space, but they would prefer 1.5. Look, if that's what the judge wants, that's what I'm going to give them. So my paper was spaced at 1.5 because he never specified, and I'm so used to writing in that, like, doesn't faze me. So he knocked me off points for that. Almost 10 points I lost on that first. I got a 91. Still an A-, whatever. Like, but how do you knock me down for something you never told me was going to count? So we'll see. I won't be there in the morning. I have a cardiologist appointment that got canceled before because I had bronchitis and pneumonia. Yeah, it's better. So we see him. I saw my neurosurgeon this morning. We did adjust my shunt. He profusely apologized for what happened last time. Um, Said it will never happen again if he can help it. Gave me his email and he said, next time you have a problem, just email me and we'll like. And I said, okay, but you were out with COVID. It's not like I'm gonna like what am I like? I'm not gonna do that to you. Because then I turned around and got COVID and no way. And he goes, well, it would go to my assistant and she could screen it. Um, but we would have gotten you handled. I said, that's okay. So going forward, I have his direct email. Um, which isn't, he goes, you could have called me on the phone. You have my number. And I said, yeah, it's not saved somehow in my system. And he goes, well, I can give it to you. And I go, I'm not going to call you at home, especially knowing you're sick. Like, if I have to call you, I'll just call the after hours number, which I honestly, I debated doing. And he's like, well, next time do it. We've had this talk before. Like, he goes, you are not my, he's like, you're my favorite patient. You are the patient that I know is not going to bitch unless there's a reason. And so, you know, he goes, and you're also my patient who's going to suck it up for way longer than you should. Excuse me. So he was a little upset with me for waiting for so long. And he goes, well, why didn't you come back sooner? He goes, we could have maybe squeezed you in after I was back. And I said, yeah, then I got COVID. And he goes, oh, shoot. And so I go, it's all good. And so we had a great talk. Um, we had a big heart to heart as far as where my training is at and what is safe for me to do, and knowing that we're adjusting the shunt. And we elected to adjust the shunt based on what we think is going on rather than doing a lumbar puncture, because if we do a lumbar puncture, I there's nothing. I will be flat on my back for days. And since I'm already having so many back issues, in fact, I see the pain management specialist on Wednesday where we're doing the nerve ablation again. Um, he doesn't want to add to that. Um, and so we adjusted the shunt, and we'll see how it goes. Couple weeks, see where I'm at, and maybe we'll adjust again. Um, so yeah, so that was really good. I just knocked my bionic ear out of my ear. Um, and so yeah, and then I see the cardiologist in the morning. I hope they go back to the if I have to have another, like, a new one put in 2 years. I really hope that the hospital renews the contract and goes back to Medtronic. Um, while Medtronic isn't like, you have to sleep next to this box contraption, or within like 9 feet of it in order for it to upload. And you have to carry around a clicker that will like mark it if you're having issues. This one has unsynced from my phone more times than I care to count, like to the point where I had to call Abbott and say, hey, what's going on? And it didn't alert me. The only reason I realized it wasn't connecting was because I was having an issue and I couldn't connect, and because it was on a Saturday, by the time I could get a hold of somebody to figure out what was going on my system, it was Monday afternoon. So all that data was lost. So we still don't, like, the whole point of me having this in was to figure out what's going on. And yeah, so not really thrilled with this monitor, but yeah. So that's my week, and the next week I get to see. I've already seen the endocrinologist in the last few days. Everything's good there. Yeah, we're like hitting all the doctors in the next 2 weeks. It's crazy. Like, I see the OBGYN, had to go in for my mammogram. And he's like, yeah, you can't be putting it off because, you know, I've already had issues. So yeah, so I think that's next week. Loads of fun. Loads of fun. I am slowly working through my pile. Hopefully I can get through it, a majority of it this week. I've been pretty productive up until today, but I still got stuff done. So going back to stitching. Welcome to my crazy. Okay, so I did work a little bit, very little, on Wonders of the Solar System by Climbing Goats Designs. This is phenomenal. There are 10 parts. I think I figured it out. There are 10 parts. This is up to part 9. I do not have them all printed, but that's okay because I'm not to that point, and that's okay. So, I did not get very far. I don't know where all my flosses went. Like, I haven't necessarily been keeping them in projects. But, like, I went to pull the floss for this one, for Mars, because I was like, okay, at least I can knock out Mars. But it took me forever to figure out, because I hadn't marked the pattern exactly the way, like, all of the stitching I had done. And then I added some more. But I don't have all the flosses to finish Mars. And I've got to get past that because, I mean, I guess I could just go on to the next planet, which is, hang on. Mars. What's really cool when you buy the pattern is, we'll fold it down so you can't see, like the pattern is up on top. She gives you all sorts of information about the planet you're stitching, which I think is fantastic. So after Mars is Neptune. Neptune is a pretty planet. So I mean, I guess I could just go to the next planet and then come back after I get the floss, but you know, we all know how my OCD brain works, and that doesn't work for me, so we'll see. But we got a little bit done on Mars. Not a whole heck of a lot. Not a whole heck of a lot. So this is my Whipco poll for the month. It is slated for 10 days, which means it still gets 9 more days. So there is hope. There is hope that we'll get at least one planet in. Now, realistically, if I sewed the whole day, it's just like a couple full days on this, I'd get more than one planet done. But it's been a little crazy around here. And I'm still napping almost every day. Like, I'll do something and then it's like, okay, I need a nap. And then like, so last week on Wednesday I had class till 10. By the time I get home, it's almost 11. I had to hurry up and write the paper that was due that Thursday because he waited till Tuesday to give it a 2 to 3 page paper that was due on Thursday. Now, why he couldn't have assigned it the Thursday before, I don't know. Probably because he was spending 2 hours talking about the flippin' syllabus. So I stayed up late, finished my paper, got up early, and went. And I have to get up at like 6:30 in the morning in order to get to campus. Then I come home, did some more homework on Thursday, and then went back to my Thursday night class, and it was just like, yeah. So I was exhausted. Next week, too, I think I start my other Tuesday night class, which is signing for music. And I am excited because some of my favorite people are in the class. And my favorite teacher is supposed to be teaching. But somebody said not teaching. That she's in Washington. DC. Because she's doing her PhD, I think, at Gallaudet, which is the deaf university. And that she's stuck there on something. So I think if that's the case, then one of my other favorite teachers, Dylan, that's his sign name, is Dylan, is going to be teaching. So it should be fun. My only issue with Dylan is a little discombobulated sometimes. And I don't like, I like, and it's a short class. But I am super excited. I have no expectations of what we're actually doing other than that we're supposed to be working on interpreting for music, which I am totally psyched about. So, the other thing that I did get some stitches in on, although not nearly as many as I wished I had, but I was, when I'm designing, I'm the designer, I'm the pattern tester, I'm the, I'm dyeing fabrics. Like, so I'm I'm running Grandma's Stitching Box, which includes overdyed flosses, dyeing fabrics, which I love having fun with that. Um, I'm making patterns, I'm testing patterns, and then like sending out things. I'm helping as much as I can with Hillbilly Candle Company. I do a lot of the proofreading, or I do a lot of the initial writing. There's some mistakes we have to fix, and then I make all the business cards. I've been doing all that kind of stuff. My poor Cricket is like working on overdrive. Um, and then I have all my legal stuff, and then I have my classroom stuff, and um, yeah, it's a lot some days to juggle. And yeah, it adds up some days, and some days I get it all done, and some days I not so much, and yeah. Um, oh, hang on. Um, so it's tricky. Um, So I don't always get as much stitching on my personal projects right now as I would like, or that I used to like a month ago before going down this rabbit hole. So this is the Marie. Anyways, long story short, um, this is slated for another 10 days this month because we had elected that this was my least favorite whip, and it's just because I had such a hard time with that stupid circle. And if you've ever done this pattern, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, apparently counting is hard, and I didn't count very well, and I really struggled getting that circle to line up to the point where it took me like 5 or 6 times. Yeah, because I'm an idiot. So that said, so we elected that because I had worked the other runner up for least favorite whip would have been my Transtastical Cell, my unicorn, which I absolutely love, and I don't know why I'm like struggling with that one too. I don't know. Maybe I need to get like a really fun thread wax so that it makes me smell like I smell happiness. I don't know. Maybe. What would a unicorn what would a unicorn related thread wax smell like? Let me know. Let me know. Um so this is slated for 7 more days. So hopefully I'll have seven more really solid good days to work on that, and we can get some good progress. Now I have made good progress with between the 10 days before um and that we've made some good progress. I really need to get a whole lot more progress done on that because it is a gift, and I don't want anything to happen to Carl before I get this done. But Carl, has got a lot of health issues, and he is in his 70s. So, um, yeah. But that is really and truly all the stitching. I don't. Let me see. The only other one that I may have touched. This is in my Stephanie bag because I love Stephanie, and I love this bag, and it just makes me happy. And I will be honest, I don't remember who she said made it. She was in their Bag of the Month club, and I don't know, but I know I love this bag, and I know I adore Stephanie, and I'm so glad I got to sit with her next to her at StitchCon because she's a doll. And then this is my Summertime by Primrose Cottage Stitchers that I'm stitching on Fortnite Fabric Sea Glass 36 count linen. Who knew? You know who knew? Nicole, the other wonderful angel that I sat with at StitchCon. Actually, you know what? I sat at a table, and I will say this, and I will keep saying this, and I will probably say this again a million times. I sat at a table with some of the most wonderful people that I have met. And not knowing them like face to face before, I'm so glad. Like, I can't wait to see them again. So, did I? Oh, because Kelly's smart. I did do a little bit. I lied. I did work on this a little. Who knew? So, I started to add the strawberry in the whole cup outline. How fun is that? Yeah. Again, who knew I could stitch on linen? You know who knew? Nicole. Nicole. Um, so I would like to get the little cup done at least in this next week. Maybe I should be able to manage the little cup. Um, I'd like to get the cup done. I'd like to get um I don't know what else. I don't know. It's gonna be a surprise for all of us when I come back next week and show you what I stitched. It will just be a surprise. How about that? Because yeah. Oh, here's the other side. This is the sign for COVID. So you make a fist and you COVID. Because we were finger spelling, but now there's a sign. It's kind of a pretty sign. You'd think it should be an ugly sign, but it's not. It's kind of a pretty sign. Dylan taught us a sign. This is his favorite sign. Diarrhea. Why? So yeah. So the other thing that that I want to work on is I did my 3 small words from Lizzie Kate. I have some more sayings. I kept my flosses that I changed. I made my pretty notes with my conversion for colors. I want to pull those out, and I want to work on series number 2 to go with that. That is also up in my design head. So, that said, it's not as bad as it looks back there. I have still managed to keep a majority off, and this pretty cleared off. I think if I can teach the kids how to use the sprayer, they will like it. And because the wall and the ceiling all have to be primed, and the cabinets are all going to get primed in the same color, they don't have to tape off anything other than the window. So they don't have to be super careful. Oh, and countertops. I haven't figured out we haven't figured out what we're doing with those. I don't know. So that said, we're at a decent time. I've kind of gone over everything. Drop your comments below. You know what to do. You know what to do. Yeah. So we'll talk to you next week. Hopefully I won't be so crazy. There's no guarantee. I do have some crocheting I need to do. It's too bad they don't make yarn wax, because then maybe my crocheting would get done, because it would smell good and I would want to smell it. But yeah, I need more thread wax. It smells so good. And it doesn't change the color. Like, you don't have to worry about it like leaving it on your fabric. And then when you put your you guys know how to work thread wax, right? Let me see if I have a little piece of thread. Okay, my dog has gas. I don't know why. Oh. Ooh. Girlfriend is not a good smell. Okay, so you take your and you just put your through your thumb, hold it on. This is literally as easy as it is. So you do this and you just go like that. And you just pull it through. And that is, honestly, it's enough wax. And it just makes, I'm telling you, like, I was not a thread wax person. Like, I hand quilt and everything, and never, sometimes I will struggle. I will try, like, every once in a while, like, somebody will send me some thread wax. I'll be like, okay, I'll try it, like, when I'm working with Krynic or, you know, Diamond. Diamond's a little bit easier, but Krynic for sure you need something because that just is like dealing with the devil's pubes. This stuff is amazing. So yeah, if you have not checked them out, go check them out. You can always put in the notes that I sent you. Super cute. Look, he even hi y'all. But I for sure am going to need to order more. I kind of like the idea of having one for every. I mean, nice thing, I get a little bit of a discount. You know the owners kind of thing. I like the idea of having one like for the different themes. Like I love that. Like if you order my I'm Your Huckleberry kit, comes with your fabric, your floss, the patterns, everything. The thread wax matches the pattern. Like, sorry, we don't have a sweet iced tea one. Otherwise, then you could have picked. But those two patterns come together, and you can still use your Huckleberry. And this, I mean, it's gonna last for a long time because seriously, but and the scent will stay. Like it's good stuff. So, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. I have to go and do stuff, and I have to, yeah. Probably, I don't have homework for the morning. He's gonna post the assignment while I'm at the cardiologist, and then I'm gonna have to come home from the cardiologist and write a small paper, which is fine, and probably a bigger paper too, knowing him, because God forbid you should give the topic on Thursday over the weekend when people, us adults who have other jobs could write it on the weekend rather than, a 48 hour, not even 48 hours. So yeah, that's that too. We're pushing Swim to the Moon till next year. So now we're going to focus on just getting my lungs back, honestly. And hopefully hitting 50K at Bear Lake this year. Without killing my back. So, fingers crossed, everything goes well with the doctors this week. Next 2 appointments. Cardiologist, I'm a little worried about, not gonna lie. Has anybody else's heart rate not gone back to like their normal once they've had COVID? Like, my heart rates are like, because I have the Garmin and the heart rate monitor and stuff, I can check, plus I have the internal heart rate monitor. My BP has been a little elevated, like compared to normal. So yeah. Yeah. So there we go. So let me know, would you cross stitch a sampler that has Braille and ASL, and what building or other things should go on that? Again, do you use thread wax? What's your favorite scent? And we'll go from there. And yeah, do all the things. Bye guys. See you next week.